Oh man, I don't get it.
All right. So
Get it.
let's all just breathe. We get here how we get here. That's how we're going to start this. Okay? So we get here how we get here. Let's just kind of breathe into that. We get here how we get here. And it doesn't always look how we used to think we would get somewhere. And look at it. Didn't this webinar show us that? So let's just breathe. And so once again, let's start with our connecting here with each other. I didn't hear from Jennifer Starbright, so I hope that, well, she would have texted me. So anyway, let's all put our hands on our hearts and just let go of that experience we all had to get come together again. And just breathe. And again, we're going to do a heart circle with our energies, connecting all of us present here. So just in your awareness, we're just going to connect with everyone. We've got Karen D, Linda, Sue, Jennifer Miller, and Pamela, and me. So let's just breathe and create a really strong energy, heart synergy with us present. Nice. I can feel that. And now let's collect everybody that is part of this soul sync up. There we go. Oh, that was nice. And we're going to allow this soul sync up energy to bless us first and then be sent out to bless others. So it is. Okay. Ooh, that's very nice. So Karen, you're front and center for me, so you're first up.
How did that work?
I don't know. So what do you want to share? What just go with whatever's there. You're in a new place. You're in a new.
I'm in a new place. Yes.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. Moving is a real, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual shift. No question about it. You're clearing out the old. You have no choice but pulling everything out and exposing it all. I'm really surprised how energetically shifting to the new space feels so fantastic. I wasn't sure how everything was going to find its place, but it did. I'm not fully settled yet, but I have to give myself some credit that it's only been a month. Yeah, it's really, really feeling great. The building itself is, who knows how old. It's one of the old mill buildings, and the walls are probably 1.5 feet thick of stone. Concrete walls and ceiling. I'm at the end of the hallway. There's nobody across, and it's a condo. It's not like in the big apartment building. I can't believe how quiet it is. I cannot hear anything from out on the street. It is like it has a fielding, like it's a protected shelter. But it was the whole building was renovated in 2008, and so it's all nice and new on the inside, but quiet. I'm just really appreciating that. I either want to be, in this sanctuary, or I like being out in nature. This whole feeling of having to feel grounded. I took your advice. I walk around with stones in my pocket to help ground me, because every day the shift of the energy is just so great. But nature has been the greatest healer with this fall season. And every day being so different today, you know, all of a sudden we transition to winter all of a sudden. I don't know. So energetically, I feel that doors are closing, new ones are opening. It's the energy of truth. You just have to say what it is. You don't have to think about it, mull over it too much, and you have to just accept it. Biggest challenges is, you know, having shared the truth with my children about certain things and them having to, they have to work through it now on their own, and I have to allow that to happen, no matter how that is. So that's, and being okay with the friendships that are shifting and looking more to what's opening up. What does this energy feel like today? Last week felt incredible. Like everything felt like a miracle, like it was coming together. And then all of a sudden you'll have a really hard day where there's a big open shift. And then you go, oh, what was that? Where'd that come from? Now this week is again shifting in ways that open up your awareness differently. So I don't know how else to say that, but I feel like we're really going through a whole nother change. And energetically, things are shifting more from the heart center than I've ever felt before. So thank you for the daily messages. I can't even tell you how grateful I am for them. And I really like that they're coming earlier in the day. I know your day doesn't, you're like a night owl. So it's like, I do appreciate them coming earlier because I feel it's helping, it really helps to be supportive of the way that the day lays out.
Thank you.
Cool.
I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that.
I'm so glad they're soul beneficial. So I guess I'm moving over here. So, okay. So this pillow is talking behind me that I just moved in this chair. This is a pillow Mara has sitting here. It basically says, she believed she could, so she did. So there we go. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Karen. And I concur with everything you shared. And just the energy behind your words is like this soul solid, soul strong now. It's very lovely. It's very lovely to experience. So, and it's just, you know, speaks to you doing your work. So yeah. So welcome. Glad you could make it.
Thank you.
Linda, your soul's pushing for next.
Well, good, because I wanted to I wanted to say that Karen, what you were just saying about grounding and the importance of that and the shifting of energies, I feel the same way. I mean, I've been once a week I meet up with some friends and we go to a state park and we hike, and we're usually doing about 5-mile hikes, and it's just helped so much to be out in nature and just, we don't necessarily have to talk much, but just to enjoy the energy of nature, which is so grounding, you know, it's grounding. But anyhow, with all of the energies coming in, I think that just the fact that I've been able to ground as much as I have has really helped me to be okay where I'm at, okay with what the energies are. I'm right now, I feel like I'm kind of in a spot where I'm just kind of waiting for the next thing. But I'm okay with it all. I just feel relaxed. I feel I can handle it, whatever it is. And it's a really good feeling. That's I don't know how else to put it, but I feel like there's more to come, and I'm just waiting to see what that is going to be. And I'm in no rush. Whatever it happens, it happens. But So, yeah, I also appreciate too, Julie, those messages, just little, the reminders and the messages about the energy and what we can do to help to work with that energy. It's been good. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you're welcome. And again, you too, Linda. I feel like I haven't seen you guys for a while, right? So it's kind of like when you don't see a child for a while and you're like, wow, they've grown. It's only been a couple weeks. But I'm experiencing that with you guys' energy to see how you've really stepped up and taken these quantum steps with what is occurring. And it's just really fun. It's really fun to experience more and more of your essence. So thank you for showing up and being here with us tonight. Yeah. So Trudy, your soul's pushing up next.
Well, I also want to say I really appreciate the daily messages, and it's super beneficial. And it's for me, because I like the written word. It's helpful for me and helps me ground in a different way. So just know that they really are super supportive, and I really appreciate them. And I am going to kind of piggyback on what both Linda and Karen have already said about the energy. Like some days you wake up and everything is just on track. You know what I mean? And, you can really feel it and you're with it. And then there's other days where it's kind of like you're getting a curveball at a left field. But again, it's, I feel like I'm able to navigate that. And I do have to say, I've had a couple of days where my emotions have been all over the place. And just being a Scorpio, it's really interesting because I feel things so intensely.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been something I've been kind of dealing with, bouncing around, and paying attention to what my emotional stuff is and working my way through it. But it's been helpful. And there's been some particle stuff that I've had to deal with my folks that, can be triggering. I'll just say that. But again, I have to acknowledge that I feel really grateful to my mom because she's really able to just go with the flow, which I so appreciate, because 6 months ago I wouldn't have been able to say that.
Right. So look at how this has really gifted you and her to remember she is able, and you so that you can let go.
Yes, absolutely. I so get that that's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, sometimes it's challenging because she isn't always able to understand, first of all, with everybody wearing the mask, what they're actually trying to say to her.
Especially when she doesn't hear well. Uh-huh.
To happen from my perspective, but I just feel so grateful that she's able to navigate this, which I feel grateful for.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, lovely. And Trudy, there was a couple key things I picked up energetically from what you shared, and that's that I'm able to navigate myself through. It was the, not so much the words, but the solidness of the energy behind that you really do have a way through now for yourself. And you don't get so hung up on, oh my gosh, this is happening again. You know what I mean? It's more like, okay, wow, this is here and this is my way through. And I can support me on my way through. And that's in another level of that is what I experienced with you. So yeah, good job. And even though the call that you didn't get to connect in, the whatever, you didn't get too flustered.
I don't know if anyone else has had a similar experience, but I don't remember which time it was that I was watching it, but I just felt myself, as one of the images was changing, I felt like I went through that portal.
Oh, on the movies,
Yeah.
the True Soul Journey movies that I just sent out, or we
yeah,
just
the
put out there. Yeah,
today.
yeah, it's powerful.
So that was interesting.
Cool, cool, awesome. Well, welcome. And Sue, you're up next.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously, my world has been a bit different this last month due to the injury that I had, and poor Julie, she's just been a
Not
blast.
poor Julie. I have had an opportunity to give back to Sue and not allow her to just do all the giving.
She's been with me, throughout all of it because I relied on her for transportation to everything. Today it was supposed to be a rehab appointment, which obviously we didn't make it to. But Julie, I guess what, 3 or 4 treatments a week you've given me?
Probably 3 or 4 times a week we connect, yeah, for treatments.
And it's been amazing. I mean, Julie's been tracking it with pictures and so on. And I mean, like, okay, so canceling this appointment today, I made one for next week, but I don't even know if I'll require it because I feel like, I've just made so much progress.
And that's her hand therapy appointment.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
like the rehab.
Right, yeah. So basically they just check in with you just to, last week, for instance, just to let me know, I could take everything off my hand and shower with it, which I was like, okay. Just all those nuances that were different for me, just, feeling like I can trust the process of just letting go. And yes, the healing is definitely, occurring. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, that's just been quite a, I don't know, just a whole deal, just a deal. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful that it's gone as well as it has. I mean, I truly am. So thank you, Julie. Oh my gosh.
You're welcome.
Yes, and I have to say too, I totally love the audios that you do for us. I know that I like the written part too, but I do like connecting with you on a personal level with your voice, and just knowing that everything's there to support us. And the video, what did you call it again? The one that came through.
The True Soul Journey.
Okay, this latest one.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, just listening to that for the first time took me somewhere that I felt familiar with. And it just blessed me in so many ways. It was amazing. So thank you. My goodness. To both.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, it's a powerful, powerful experience. So I really encourage you, if you haven't had an opportunity to be with it yet, to listen to it repeatedly. It's only 2 minutes, but each time you do, you go deeper. So, yeah. Anything else?
No, I don't. I feel it's good for now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And again, I've gotten to experience Sue's growth immensely through this experience. And to the degree she's let go with grace and ease and allowed what is now, it's been really, you can see how much more soul solid she is in her presence, and it's really a blessing. Yeah. So thank you for showing up. Yes. Yes. All right. Jennifer.
Well, I resonate with several different things, and the morning check-in literally is like my little daily huddle. I love it. I love it. Quite appreciate that. And there's something with just the whole you know, like you said, the written, but the I don't know, something with sound. I
Yeah.
can't explain it. Uh, I would say the last 4 or 5 days. Yesterday, I finally felt like I was, and it ties into the grounding in the process. So my cousin got married this weekend, and I had cousins in town, and we usually see each other 3 to 4 times a year. We haven't seen each other since Christmas. And so it was definitely cousin chaos. But in the most delightful way. Like, we just had the best time, but there was just it was just a lot, you know, a lot of running around, a lot of energy, and didn't get my normal, I would say, routine that I would normally have. And literally by Sunday evening, I literally felt like I was outside my body. And
Wow. Ooh.
it literally, you know, it took me Sunday night and even into a little bit yesterday that I felt like, all right, you know, I'm back. You know, I'm back and grounded in my space. So that was just it was a very wild and notable experience, you know, for me personally.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like we're going to talk a little bit about that, being around so many. Okay. You know, this thing that shifted with our soul family versus versus the just souls that chose done versus the ones that made the other choice.
Yeah.
It's notably different. And it's natural for us to want to pick up where we left off, let's say. Okay. So if you want to notice if you're looking for the same from someone, or if you are really open to experience what you're experiencing right now with that person. Because there's part of us that go, okay, you know, there's something a little different, not good or bad, but just different. You know, and then you might have feelings about that. Like, I'm not, you know, sure, we're not connecting quite like we did. Or, you know, remember, there are these affection points that we can connect with anybody. You know, if there was affection there, and part of affection, and I feel is appreciation, this gratitude, where you had this affection for those points in that friendship or that family ship, then it's easier versus if there is things that were absent, if that was not there as part of your foundation, there really is nothing there. Has anybody experienced this at all? Yeah. Yeah. So, but part of it is to recognize, wow, there's nothing here. And again, there might be some feelings that come up with that. Wow. I know for me, I've had this long-term friendship with my friend Barb, and through all of our changes, my son Atlee and her son were best friends, and we used to swap, you know, do overnights and take each other's kids, and we had all this whole thing. And then when I went on my journey after I got divorced, she still was very much a part of my life, and then our lives started becoming very different. And but that we do have these affection points, right? But she made that other soul choice. Well, this is the first year she's missed my birthday, which I was like, I didn't even notice really until a couple of days after, because her birthday is right away in November. So we kind of have them together. And I was just kind of like, oh, wow, there it is. You know, it may not have even gone on her radar for whatever reason, but it's just like, you just notice that stuff, what's gone. And it's like, oh yeah, you know, wow. Yeah, that's unusual for her. It's different. But I didn't have any I really didn't have any whatever about it because I know her soul's journey. I know my journey is very different than hers. And so I guess all I experienced was appreciation for all those years we did connect in that way. Does this resonate with anybody? Has anybody had like
Totally.
similar?
Yeah, it resonated with me with a coworker that I had for a long time, and she moved on probably back in February. And I think I've seen her once since, and she's like always reaching out and wanting to, and it's I don't know, I'm just kind of beyond that. And like we were besties at work, and it's just a very different place now. And exactly what you said, like, well, that was then, and that was great, and I'm just in a new place.
Yeah. And
I think
whatever,
it's, yeah.
go ahead.
Oh,
Karen.
I think it's just all revealing itself in ways that is so fascinating because it goes both ways. It's not just those that no longer resonate to connect, but it's also from my point of view. There's a friend that I've known for 20 years. Her birthday is the 1st of October. I didn't feel the need to remind her and send the card. The other thing that came up that was so fascinating is I had a past experience that popped vividly into my head, and it was when I was 5 years old. I was in kindergarten, and I had a best friend in the whole wide world, and that best friend chose somebody else, and it broke my heart. And it's some sort of lesson that had to come back to me to understand that it wasn't me, because I thought it was me. And what it was is it was the teacher's daughter, and she chose it over me because of her grades, not because of the friendship. And I thought that this bond was supposed to last for the whole, of my life. And I thought, wow, that came out of nowhere. That memory. But I think there's something about this is the time we're supposed to either remember and let go, and it goes both ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I'm again, that leads me in. I believe I touched with everybody that's on the line. Oh, no, we got Pam yet too. So I want to come back around to what you just said with something that's kind of come in through my sessions that I want to share tonight. So, but yeah, that makes perfect sense. So thank you, Jennifer. And again, what I see and experience in your energy is this, what I really caught was, oh my gosh, I'm out of my body. And you just stayed with you and did what was required to get yourself back. So it's like that recognition, number one, oh yeah, I was with all these people. You know what I mean? Wow. And you might even want to look and say, what was helpful and what wasn't for me? So you don't get to that point again. But then the key is you brought yourself all the way back and you knew what to do. So I experienced that soul certainty again with you, that soul solidness. So yeah. So thank you for showing up. And we want to hear from Pamela.
Here I am.
Yeah, there you are.
I was lucky enough to have a tune-up with Julie on Sunday, and that was very, very helpful. And I like how a person just knows now when, you can move along and things go, yeah, you're learning things, but they don't all get connected, but they all kind of pull together in a package sort of deal all of a sudden. And it's like, it's time to put all these items together and deliver it to yourself kind of in a package, and then to open it up and see what's been gathered and put in this basket or package and make it all come together. And I'll tell you what, that video, it's just triumphant. I can't imagine how many millions of times
wow.
I'm not going to watch that. It just feels so triumphant. And, you know, like when I can feel like when a guy is searching or there's this, you know, just the so comfortable and so triumphant. And I really, really enjoyed that. And
Mm.
I like that your messages I don't always get to listen to them right away. And so it feels like I get to notice them the perfect time for me. And I really do like hearing your voice too. So it's wonderful.
Oh.
And isn't it nice your kids are growing up? We're all growing.
Yay!
Yay.
Yeah, everybody's moving along, so that's really
Yeah.
fun to experience. And yeah, and again, I want to give Pam some kudos here, because some soul kudos, because that, to recognize, oh, okay, well, I really could just use some support here. You know, like you said, I've got my pieces, but they're not quite linking up. Maybe someone with another view might be supportive here. And then, you know, how quickly it could come together. And this experience we have now with the high heart moving up to the throat, it's easier than ever to speak our truth, right? And not really care what somebody else thinks. Then we also have that guardian chakra guardian thing going in our above chakra and above chakra, and all these things happening in our crown. So there's this larger perspective of, we can see like never before. And it's so great, because it's like we used to huddle in a little room. Okay, well, let's see, based on this room, this is the conclusions we can come to. Now it's like we're sitting on top of the planet going, yeah, wow, I see this goes with this and this goes with this. It's just awesome. So but yeah, I just wanted to, again, you know, your tenacity and your commitment to the journey. Like I feel like everybody here, I've known you the longest, you know, and so just that, the way you're able to now look at yourself and shift and move and put it together and just bring the inside out is so beautiful. So
Thank you very much.
So, wow, let's just take a breath in here and we'll see what wants to be spoken. So I'm going to kind of go back around to what Karen was sharing and other people kind of touched on. This is something that came through in my sessions, and it's not anything new. I feel like it's just clearer than ever before to see how we got out of sync with us. Okay. Because if we can see the path we took to get out there, it's easy to come back. All it is truth time, recognition, truth can transmutate the energy like that. And that's the gift of this time. So this truth portal we went through last week is really allowing for, as the truth is spoken, the spell is broken. So let's breathe into that. That just came in. That's kind of nice. As the truth is spoken, the spell is broken. Illusion's spell is broken. And I've said before, everything just wants a voice. Everything just wants consciousness. That's really another way of saying it. Okay. So as the truth is spoken, the spell is broken. Illusion spell is broken. I like it. That's kind of nice. So there isn't a lot of process necessarily to shift. Like Karen was saying, it's just immediate, it's gone, and so much is leaving, you don't even know it's leaving, it's just gone. But if it is if it is essential for you to recognize something, then you might observe more things. But it's not really a process in the way we have done it in the past. Does that make sense? So I want to just kind of put that out there. So what came in today with my session, which is built on these other ahas I've gotten? Bottom line, we came to have experiences, right? That's at the top. So you can put experiences at the top. Maybe I even have my sheet of paper here yet. I can even show you guys. Let's see. Oh, I do. How nice. Okay, let's see. Andy's got the lights on in here. You just put up my new blinds. Let me see if I can turn the camera on so it'd be easier so I can see. I don't know if you guys can read that. Can you read it?
It's
No.
kind of small,
It's
but
blurry. Okay,
yeah.
let's see. We can put it under some light here. Oh yeah, amazing what happened. I don't know if that helps at all. But I'll just tell you what I've done with this, how this came through. So I had experiences at the top of my page. And how we were meant, oh, this might work. How we were meant to do it is we were to have experiences. Those experiences, we would experience feelings. Now, feelings are not emotions. Feelings are the indicators that emotions were present, right? Because there's only 4 emotions we had to go through in order for our experience to be complete. Now I'll turn the camera back around. So it really was just a straight shot. Experiences brought feelings. Through the feelings, you would have your emotions, you'd let them go, and then you would go. Okay? And you'd get to excavate this sensory human experience as a soul. That was the ideal plan, let's say. Okay. That was the straight shot. But as we know, we took a different journey. We took a illusions journey, because those emotions, remember, were our indicators that we were creating beliefs that we were getting caught in the illusion. Okay. So if we felt angry, for instance, that anger was basically saying to us, oh yeah, we want to see this truth clearly and move through this energy so that we can adjust accordingly and stay in truth. Okay. So let's call this a truth line that experiences, feelings, core 4 emotions, and then it was go. You just go. So instead, the journey a lot of us took, everybody, let's see if this helps. I don't know if this does. We, instead of going straight down to feelings, well, the feelings weren't okay, right? So the mind took the feelings and said, wow, I don't know. I'm going to turn this back around. I can't do feeling energy, but I can assign meaning to these feelings. Okay? So the mind assigned all these meanings to what these feelings meant. Are you with me? Are you following? So then those feelings, based on what the mind assigned, created and formed beliefs as a conclusion to that experience. And of course, within that, we didn't have our emotions, so then it would get tucked away. So as we're unwinding the illusion, right? We're breaking illusion's spell. this is just a way. It's not the only way, but let's say you're butting up to get against something, or something showing up again that has really been soul deep. You're like, yeah, here's that belief again, and let's just say, I'm not good enough. Okay, that was a pretty generic across the board one. I'm not good enough. So you had an experience. Part of that experience as a child, most of us didn't get what we thought we required at that time. Okay, meaning our parents weren't emotionally available to us to support us through those feelings, so that and give us a safe space so we could experience the energy of our emotions, so we could let it go. Okay, most of us didn't have that experience. So because of that, we had those experiences, and our mind said, okay, I'm not good enough. Well, when I consider that experience where I felt less than someone, right? I wasn't good enough. So Karen, if we take your example, your best friend chose somebody else. What do you suppose you felt at that time as a little girl?
Well, I felt exactly that I wasn't good enough. And so what I took away from that is that I had to work harder to deserve love.
Exactly. So do you see, that was the belief. But if you look at how you got to that belief, the process of it was, okay, I'm not good enough. Well, what comes with that? What comes with that feeling of not good enough? What are the feelings around it? I feel worried. I feel lonely. I feel, it's the core four typically, but also I feel betrayed, right? She picked somebody else. I feel abandoned. I felt, I'm just throwing some out. I'm not saying
No,
you did.
but that's true. Those are the
Yeah.
feelings that came through.
Right. And what else might have come through in that experience? Abandoned, betrayed. Do you have anything else?
I
would say
heartbreak.
Those were the two.
It was
Okay.
heartbreak. Yeah.
Heartbreaking. This hurts my heart. Right? So if you look at, okay, let's look at abandoned. You felt abandoned, right? Because this is your little one trying to make sense of the world. So what meaning did you assign to abandoned? If you're abandoned, then what?
I'm not going to be okay.
Yeah, and I won't be loved.
Right.
You feel that? So there's that meaning the mind assigned to that feeling of abandoned. Then you have betrayed. Let's say betrayed. So if you have that feeling of betrayed, what meaning did you assign to it? What was the belief connecting about betrayal? What do you suppose you did with it? Well, what if it's something like, it's not safe to have a best friend to open up my heart because it hurts too much? So maybe you didn't invest that deeply into a relationship after that, a friendship. I don't know what it was for you, Karen, but I'm just saying that you kind of look.
I think you look to protect yourself. I think you first ask, what did I do wrong?
There it is. What did I do wrong? So if
I never realized until I went back to have that experience this week that it wasn't me. And I assigned it to myself and created a misbelief out of it. Yes.
Right. You assign meaning to it, which all it meant, like you said, when you got to the truth is, well, she picked this other person because she picked this other person. It had nothing to do with you.
Right.
But we spend all these times collecting experiences to reinforce that belief to come around to this conclusion. It's not even true. And then you almost have to laugh with yourself because it just seems like so wow, because it's so clear now, but it wasn't.
It was so clear and so simple to see. It didn't even take effort.
Right.
And I've been carrying this belief since I've been 5.
Yes. Yes.
It's really profound.
Isn't
How
it?
how it shows up and helps us clear those things in a really effective way.
And all it took was what? Your conscious awareness that that scene was being flashed before you.
Mm-hmm.
To go, wow, oh, I haven't thought of this for a long time. You know?
But I knew those names, both those names, they weren't even like a stretch. They were right at the tip of my tongue. It was really funny. It was like I was back in that time. This whole quantum thing where it takes you back and it's all clear. It's not as if you're looking, I don't know. It's like you can go back to that place and then you can rewrite it.
Yes, absolutely. And upright it
Mm-hmm.
for the truth that was there. And again, if you really look at this, the hoodwink of those experiences for us as children is we assign meaning to those feelings, thinking that it meant something about us when it was just an experience, right? So that's kind of illusion's game. And the mind happily participated in that. And then it would remind you every time you felt that feeling that reminded you about that experience. So even though the scenario was different, that same feeling might come up and you're like, oh, this is an Amazon moment. People that do this also would like this and this and this. You know, I see it like Amazon. You know, you buy something and it goes, oh, people that buy this would also might enjoy this and this and this. Well, it's like the mind would do that. Oh, people have this feeling. It means this and this and this about you. And you see how we would just kind of re-traumatize ourselves through these similar experiences. But what's awesome about now is what Karen was sharing, and that is so clear. You just look and you go, wow. So one of the things that came through is in whatever way you do it, but once the truth is spoken, the spell is broken.
But it unravels all the untruths for the relationships after that point as well.
Yes.
It brings those to light too.
Exactly. It just starts unwinding all this stuff that got all discombobulated, right? So in speaking truth, in recognizing truth, that is enough now to shift. And it isn't hard. It just requires that presence and what we say, consciousness.
But what I thought was magical about it is it brought me to the point of truth for that. And then if I gave it time to allow it to reveal all the untruths since that time, just sitting with that and honoring it. And then all of a sudden you started seeing it, in a way that was a blessing, So
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing it around to essential gratitude, right? That it really was a gift. It didn't feel like a gift at the time, but it really was. It did gift you because it brought you full circle into this remembering. And I don't know, there's a whole new something that we have available to us that it isn't work, it isn't hard, it's just, you just see it. So with that being said, I have shared that all the numbers have this throughout 2020, the clock has moved into the ruins. So just breathe into that. So the clock is following the the days, the energies are following the ruins more than the clock. The clock is there, but it's this ruins energy. And the runes have rewritten themselves. Because remember, everything's just dynamic now. Everything is just in a way we can't even comprehend. So one of the things I do want to share with you that we can put out there and will kind of make sense to you guys is see, okay, on the 17th of October, that was last weekend, C moved, it holds the 3 spot, right? C, third letter of the alphabet. It holds 3. And it calls itself getting it down to the omega level. Getting it down to the omega level. So it brings things down to the omega level. Well, the omega, the ending level, as it was in the beginning, it shall be in the end, right? So that omega level, 3 is doing that. But C also moved to 12. So if you look at 12, C also has moved into 12. So let's breathe into that, because again, the mind wants to totally understand it, but we can remember it and recall it and feel it. But what I want to say with that, we want to remember that 12 is the direction of north. If you overlay the compass on the clock, 12 is north, in the north position. It is at the highest point. So the seeing is at the highest point now. That's one of the reasons why, too, we can see all this stuff, because it's at the 12. And 12 says, you said you would, I hold you to that. That's the universe. You said you would, I hold you to that. So this large seeing, the universe is holding us to that. Well, those of us that are conscious and doing our work, we like it. It's fun to see. Because we can get to that point, like Karen goes, oh my God, it never meant anything about me. All that stuff just goes. And that is true. But if you haven't wanted to see truth, can you see how this might have a different experience with people? Right? As the truth is getting louder. So I just kind of wanted to give you that, because that direction of north, that uptake of north, true north, right? That's how we go home, true north. Follow the northern star, Polaris. It's like that is really working with us now and supporting us. So there is also, this is another huge choice time. It is so important, and probably come out in the forecast tomorrow more, to keep moving, to do our work, because as a collective, things are being decided again. So if we don't reach these markers, then they'll bring more, the universe will bring some more stuff in, so it will be made more than obvious. Okay? And I don't know, I feel like we have enough obvious stuff. We don't require more. But if that's the way the game's going, so be it, right? So, but let's just hold that for the whole, to everybody step up, do your work, make those shifts, do those changes, see what's in front of you, and decide. So that's part of what's happening. We have this immense passage that's occurring October 31st. It is large, larger than large. So this October 31st is a huge, I heard another spiritual somebody say it's going to be a day outside of time. And I feel that it's like there's much that can be gained on the 31st, much can accessed. So, and this strong divine goddess energy that we'll be working with, for those of us that are going to be doing the experience at the cabin, is wow. And I can so see how come we are doing it at that time as we're getting closer to it. So, I mean, it is a full moon, it is a blue moon, and it is harvest moon too, or something. I don't know. There's a lot of different things. But I think they said the last time we had this all line up was 1944. Look at that, the 4 4s. So it's a huge passage thing as we go into then the month of November, which is all ones, right? 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 WON and ONE 1 1 1 1 1 1. There's all these things we got to win. So coming back to the energy of today, I'm going to have us each just kind of intuitively do a little thing. So how it was speaking about the day, how Mara was sharing it with me this morning is, let's say there were 90 clicks. You had to click in, right? 90 clicks by the end of today. And I went inside and I heard I was at 76 this morning. Okay. By 2 o'clock, I'd gotten to 88. That was nice. So I feel like whatever I did the last, whatever I did get to that. But if you want to just take a breath in, put your hand on your heart and ask how, where am I? How close am I to my 90, or am I at there? And just to see if that number comes. And again, this is just about awareness. It's not about competition or race. It's just like, okay, where am I? And you might even having that number, you'll go, oh. And a lot of this isn't really necessarily conscious, but you'll have a greater awareness like, oh, well, okay, there's some things for me to whatever. And in that recognition, you'll move into the 90. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So just everybody take a minute and just, if you haven't done it, just ask briefly. And don't let this be a wrestle match. Just let that number pop in. And
I
there's
do
no
this all the
judgment.
time. I do this as an exercise all the time to come to a point of truth. And I can see the numbers all the time. And then just the more you even focus on it, it just starts moving you through it very quickly. Yeah.
Yes. So, and why don't you share, Karen, a little bit more about how you use this as experiencing truth? So you check in, you have something, you're like, is this true? And then you go through this process, or just say a little bit more, because it might help somebody.
Well, so it helps somebody else if you can see it and you can name it for them, because it brings them to a point of truth, and it can bring yourself to a point of truth. So you can do a scale from 1 to 10, and you can see where you are, or scale from 1 to 100. Sometimes that helps people. I like the scale you're talking about because you said 90. A lot of times I think, so if people are in denial, I can see whether it's in the 200 or if it's really in reality or if they're really out of their bodies. And so it's always good to check in with yourself. So the number that came to me immediately when you asked this question was 78. As soon as I saw the 78, it actually went to 91. And I don't know why 91, because maybe that's like the November thing. But
Mhm.
I think if you guys just treat it like playing, it's kind of a fun numbers game. And then you'll even sense it around other people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then if you talk about it, it actually brings other people to a point of truth. And then once you get to a point of, if the scale is from 1 to 100, right? If you get to 10, it shifts that person out of that. It shifts them to the point of truth. And that's where all the healing happens. That's where the tear might come. That's where so that's how I say get comfortable with it. Ask yourself the question, see what it feels like. Use your own scale. There's no right or wrong.
Nice, nice. And also, I just want to share, these are some simple things that have been spoken that have come in, but like with truth, feelings come. It's natural. Truth brings feelings, because if we haven't been seeing the truth, that there's the only reason why we haven't seen truth is because there were feelings we didn't want to feel with that truth. So of course, if we're recognizing truth, it's only natural there might be some feelings around it. Does it make sense? So I don't know, it seems so simple now to me that it just all works together. And we've let go of so much that I feel like the resistance is so gone to whatever our humans used to, I don't know, whatever it used to do about it. So truth, if you just know that, oh, when I see truth, feelings come along. Oh yeah, well, that feels natural to me. See, that's part of this, is we're going back to what's natural to us. Well, that seems natural. Well, of course. So then it's not a big deal that there's feelings here with truth. They could be, if it's a big truth that you really haven't wanted to see, it could bring up some really intense emotions. But most of the time, it's just like, oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, well, that sucks. I don't really like that truth. However, doesn't make it any less untrue. But again, what Karen says, and it's one thing that's very natural for me, is to have a playful spirit with it. To look at it and then just like get to this point where, oh my gosh, really? This is where we're at. Okay, well, and you've heard, oh, learn to laugh at yourself. Well, that didn't always resonate for a lot of people because we were laughed at. And so that wording sometimes didn't help people. But have a lightness of heart with it. That's letting that divine child energy come through and feel free. So, yeah. So, anybody have any questions with what we kind of covered or went over, or any comments or any insights you want to add to this conversation? Go ahead. No? All right. Everybody lock her in. That's nice. That works. It's great. So there's a lot of, look at, I'm moving. I've never done a webinar like this where I've just moved from room to room. So it's interesting to me. That's different. So I will share with you all that my brother found a house. Happy dance. So he will be moving to his next in November. And it's just like, this time was so purposeful, and it was so clear it was done. And for him too, on his side. But with that, it's like things got to move. Now I'm just going to move my camera around again. So he just put in new blinds. Thank you. And look at, They're without cords. They're cordless. So I don't need any more strings attached, you know, with the blinds. But everything in this porch had to be moved. Like a lot of this stuff was setting space for a long time. And so now it moved. So even if I put it back to where it like in the same area, it's going to be different. And it's such a metaphor for this time that nothing can stay as it was. It's different all the time. And our level of comfort that we have with things different really is the difference between if you're hesitating to move or not. You know, how many people have gotten really comfortable different? How many people still go, catch myself sometimes wanting to hold on to what was? There's honesty too. Yeah, I feel it's both, you know. Again, recognizing that our human finds safety and sameness. If we can just kind of look back and see, well, what I do yesterday, that worked out pretty well. I guess I'll try that again today. You know, it really doesn't. I had such this. So the lights downstairs in the holding room, they're the prong ones. They're these little spotlights, and they have prongs in them. You don't screw them the normal way. Okay, so they're different light bulbs, and I haven't changed those light bulbs. They haven't burnt out for 20 years. I mean, look, it's just wild, you know, like they hadn't gone out. And so a couple did. I'm like, wow, it's a little darker in here than it used to be because there's like 3 lights on one thing. So I buy these new light bulbs, and to get them out, I'm like, okay, I know these are different, but I was just doing all this stuff and I couldn't get them out. And so my brother was there right behind the curtain. I said, Andy, why don't you come here a minute and help me? And so he's like, you know, and he's a tall guy. He doesn't even need a ladder or anything. So he's like, he couldn't get them out. And we didn't stand there more than 2 minutes. And I said, this feels hard. I don't want to do it. I said, it's not time. And we both just walked away. We just walked away. I said, well, it's not time. What can you do if it's not time? If it's not time, it's not time. And again, he's seen me enough to go, yep, don't want to do hard either. You know? And so he didn't get all He-Man and go, well, I could get this, you know, or whatever. He just, there was something about it. We just both recognized it's not time. Don't want to do it. And both, we just walked out of the room. So then I went bouncing down there yesterday, and I went down to do something, and all of a sudden I felt inspired to go try it again. They pop right out, put the new ones in. It was like, it's like it did it itself. That experience is so visceral to me because, you know, I kind of, and nothing was going to move that because it wasn't time. Anybody else have an experience that they want to share of that?
I'm just feeling that at work, and I haven't come right out and said, this is too hard. It's not time. But yeah, I mean, there's just different things going on as we reorganize. And I'm like, this is forced. This is too much. We just gotta, you know, step back and it will show itself. So I can.
And are people open to that? Are people open to that? I mean, do you get to have a voice in that? Are people open to just saying, oh yeah, maybe it's not time? Or maybe we are trying to push something. Do they come to that soul recognition, or are they still kind of in that space of do being pushed?
It varies in pockets, you know.
Okay.
So there's sometimes where where I've just said, nope, you know, I'm not doing it, or we're not doing it, or it's not time. And, that's been okay. And there's other times that, like there's some timeline or whatever it is where there's push, push, push. And kind of my attitude is if, you think someone can do it better, then go ahead and find that person. But this is how I'm going to
Because
roll.
Jennifer has tried many times to be laid off from this job or fired.
I've made 3 proposals to eliminate my position, and the last 2 have resulted in like doubling my job.
And they
So
they
I
get
need
just
to
give her
learn.
promotions.
The lesson here is to keep my freaking mouth shut. That's the lesson. I don't know, but yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
Wow. Well, I just want you to notice when things are feeling hard that, it may not be to be, or it's just not time yet. But if you can sync up, if you can ride time, I'm telling you, when it's the time, there is zero effort that goes in. So I look at this movies. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, the true soul journey. So Mara had worked all day. She'd worked 16 hours a day before, stayed at school and got all the stuff moved around because it was time. Anyway, she worked all day on Saturday on different, with you guys and with all kinds of energy stuff, doing things. Well, all of a sudden she said, well, I want to show you what I did for the kids here. And she made all this stuff. And then she goes, oh, it's time to bring through this book. I'm like, oh, okay. So I know when she's in that mode, I get out of the way because she's just going. So she brought that all through. And then as she's showing it to me, she said, well, do you feel like this is to be a movie? And I said, yes, definitely. But see, in the past, she's always done the whole thing of that. And she just looked at me and she said, well, I can't do anything more with it. It's you. I'm like, oh, okay. Again, but I'm marking my own shifts of what I don't do anymore, how I might have, what I might have done with something like that before and what I'm doing with it now. I'm just like, oh, okay. I didn't have any, oh my gosh, because she's very specific about what songs go. Well, I picked the right one. You know what I mean? Like, I want to honor the energy for what it wants. I don't want to get in the way, like all these things. But I was just like, oh, okay. And so basically, I was to go to Sue's house in the afternoon. And all of a sudden, I don't know, it switched to later in the day. And all of a sudden I was walking by the computer, literally sat down and went, boom, and it was done. The song picked itself. The way it worked with the theme of the way the pictures and the movement of it, it was like somebody else did that. My body was used, because I was so out of the way and I so synced up with the time. There was no perceived needs in there. I really feel like it was a pure experience for me of allowing spirit to just, happen to use my hands to type on the keyboard, because it was so honoring what it wanted. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
I wasn't in, oh, it should look a certain way, or that doesn't match, or that's it. No. And I had to cut, like trim music and all this stuff that would have felt hard to me in the past. It just wasn't there. So it was such a beautiful experience. And what I'm hearing from you guys, aside from, wow, the pictures, is that it all worked. The music really did work with those pictures, and how the theme that was picked really worked with the essential energy that it was trying to convey to us. And so it's such a powerful thing, as we allow this all to come together in a way you couldn't have done before. because there's no effort involved anymore. And so that idea, let's say, is going to be our new normal, which is gay. I'm up for that, to have that ease and grace. So, yeah, I don't know. It was really amazing. And to me, that experience of that video was wow. It was wow. It took me in, it turned me around, it spit me out the other side. And then I went and did it all over again. But it's almost like a soul fair ride to me. It like takes you in and goes around the portal, and then you're like looking around, you know, so woo, and then you're on this other place. So, so I really do appreciate that. One thing I would invite you guys is write a comment in the YouTube channel of your experience. Share your experience. That's part of sharing truth here. Is wow, this is whatever video for me, you know, I really experienced blah blah blah. But that, taking that 2 seconds to do that kind of stuff is really anchoring things in the field in a new way. And those things that come from that place are being more heavily weighted than people that think. Does that make sense? So if you feel inspired to do that, I would, and then share it. It's a powerful video, and it's all pure remembering. Even people that you wouldn't think, whatever, if they feel guided to open up something like that, you don't know where that can take them. And remember, we are doing this individually together. So we don't want those other things to have to come in to guide us through the rest of this time if we don't require them. So, yeah. I feel like anybody else want to share about their experience of watching it? I know Sue shared and Trudy shared. Has anybody else gotten a chance to experience it?
I
'Cause I
haven't,
just-
but I feel like I know what I'm doing as soon as we're done.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. And the more you listen to those repeatedly, Mara would bring through these movies, and we'd sit there for an hour at 3 to 4 in the morning and watch them. You know, they're 3-minute videos, and we'd watch them for an hour because we wanted to extract all that it gave us, all that was there. Because even though it's coming through her and I participate in it, remember, it's not us. It is the universe saying to us, it is time for this. This is what can support now. So we just kind of want to remember that. Yeah. Otherwise, I did have an interview last week with a gal that I had met in Florida in January. It wasn't a live one, so they taped it, and she has producers or whatever, that they're going to cut up the pieces and then categorize them based on the theme of what we were talking about. So, and then she'll give me the YouTube links to all those. So we'll see what that ends up looking like, because I have no clue what I said. It'll be interesting. She asked me questions. Who knows where I went with them? That'd be really interesting. November, Mara's still working with your Avail. Everybody here on the call has said yes to the Avail, I believe. Or Linda, did you? I can't remember. I'm not sure. I don't have my list in front of me right now. But if you did say yes to that, they are still working here. You probably will get them in November. And there is this, back probably in September sometime, Mara had said that she is going to be offering something in November. and it has to be mailed out. I don't know if people remember this or not. I just remember it because I'm like, oh yeah, because I'll be doing that. That's why I remembered it. Oh yeah, I'll be doing all that mailing and addressing. um, so the the thing itself is five. The heart exchange is $5, but then the shipping, it's going to be almost 10 to ship it because of it. So it'd be 15 total. So if that's something you want to participate in, it's going to work with the Avail. They do go together. So you can just text me and say, yep, I wanna. Yeah. So as my house becomes freer, which will be nice, I am going to be doing more of those soul crafting experiences. And there's going to be some more soul spa experiences. There is it's called an enlightenment cream thing, an enlightenment alchemy products that came through. Okay. So those will probably start in December, I'm seeing. So those are just some things that I know are coming for us. But yeah, so I'm going to be putting out an email for for those of us that are going to participate with that cabin experience at the end of the month, just outlining details. And there's going to be some other more like those kind of experiences again. So opportunities for us to come together in a physical way too. So that's what I got. Does anybody else have anything they want to bring to the table for awareness? Anything you're involved in? Anything you want to announce? No? Okay. Go ahead. Who said it? Somebody's going to talk? Okay. So I would like to invite all of us to wish Trudy a pre-happy birthday. And so I feel like it'd just be fun to sing her happy birthday. Trudy? See, you're not even on camera, so we can't even see you blushing. Are you ready?
We're ready.
All right. Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to you. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you. I love the echo, the ripples of time here. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear
Trudy.
Trudy.
Happy birthday to you. I bet you've never been serenaded that way before, Trudy.
Oh, not quite like that.
So let's start with you, Trudy. What do you want to add in the space as we close our circle tonight?
I just want to say that I'm really, really grateful for everything. And I really appreciate the experience of remembering how easy it is to move through the portal.
Nice. Great. Well, thank you. And happy pre-birthday. All right. Sue, how about you?
Yeah, gratitude as well for this time. I feel too, because it's, I don't know, it's very, I don't know, I want to say quickening. There's a quickening about all of what's going on. There's no time. You just keep moving. And,
Yeah.
yeah. So grateful to you, to Mara, to all of our group, and just again coming together like we are able to do.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you, Sue. Jennifer, how about you?
Yeah, gratitude. And this couldn't have been more timely. Just to get back with my posse. You know, like I said, it was delightful, but just it just is. And I quite like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Linda, what about you?
I just have to thank you all for all your support. I think we're so supportive of each other. We're working on a lot of things right now happening or going to happen. And just the feeling of oneness, I really appreciate that from everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you. Thank you for blessing us with your presence as well. So, Pamela.
Well, to get here, just the comfort and the familiarity, it just feels cozy. It feels like it warms up your week, and yeah, gratitude and appreciation. So thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. And thank you. All of a sudden you got this whole new level of poeticness coming out of your mouth. It's amazing what happens when we shift and let go, isn't it? Karen, I want you.
Oh, I just the feeling of being connected to this group and tapping into that energy, that feeling of it's kind of unconditional love. It's even that profound. It's kind of a really cool thing. The fact that we get to share feels like we've known each other through all time. It's really a beautiful, beautiful energy. So thank you for that. It's something really important for us in our journey and in our continued healing. So the one thing shared that I really liked was this hard, easy concept and just getting out of the way when it's hard. I love that. So some of the simple things I'm going to take with me tonight. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And like I said, it's so amazing to me, these experiences that I encounter with myself and my own remembering journey, and then how they want to be used to get a point across for others, And so, like, that's the beauty of sharing our real experiences and without judgment, without any of the old stuff, just to be able to share for sharing's sake, and how that blesses people, we just have no idea. So yeah. So thank you for that. And I just want to truly thank each and every one of you for being part of this soul pod community. It warms my heart in a way that nothing else could. And there's a lot of things I'm asked to do that isn't this. Let's put it that way. And so the fact I get to tap into this, the fact that I get to be a part of this, the fact that I'm blessed by each one of you, it is truly a gift. So thank each and every one of you. Consider yourself heart hugged. All right. Well, we're just, why don't we end or close this with putting our hands on our heart. And we're just going to take all that energy that we all have voiced and experienced, and let's just lift it up and out into the planet, so others may tap into that field as well and remember. Yeah, I felt that. Nice. All right. Blessings, everybody. Take soul care. We'll talk soon. Oh, one more thing. Would it work to connect Soul Sync up next Wednesday? Has anybody got problems with Wednesday night? I think that'd be the 28th then. Is that going to work?
I have
Yep.
a board meeting next Wednesday, so that
You have a board meeting?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay,
be,
well-
I'll be out of town next Wednesday.
You're out of
Yeah.
town. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we could do another Tuesday. If you want to do it next Tuesday, would that work?
I'm out of town Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
You're
Monday,
okay.
Tuesday.
Well, we are considering
The
your
rest of
presence
you-
already there.
The rest
not
of
the-
you, go ahead and decide what night you want.
Okay. Okay. So, well, that's nice to know that you'll be out of town. So we'll already hold space for that and you can tap in. Would that be better for you, Jennifer? Tuesday?
Yeah, in general, Tuesdays are better.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Karen?
Either works, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay, let's plan on next Tuesday. So that would be the 27th, I believe.
Oh,
Is that correct? We got their
Yeah.
calendars? Yeah, 27th. So let's just 7 o'clock on the, oh yeah, we got those sevens lined up then on the 27th. There we go.
Mhm.
See, everything just kind of clicked when I said that. So I know we're on soul track. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
love
Bye.
you too. Bye.
Bye.